If any other fighter did it, it would have been cool. But, you know, at the end of the day, I did what I love to do. I fight the best because I believe I could beat them. And that's why I'm here today. I'm still standing.
Danny, a fight that just happened a couple weeks ago, Ortiz and Bochuk, you know, there was this controversy about the decision. Just wanted your thoughts on it. It happened at 154 division. You could potentially fight in again. How did you see that fight?
That was a tough fight. It could have been a draw. It could have been a draw only because the other guy scored 2 knockdowns. Ortiz I think he made the fight a lot harder than he could have made it because he was throwing everything hard and fast. He wasn't really like taking his time. He was really just trying to get him out of there. And I think he kind of tired himself out. And that's why Bochuk was able to stay in the fight, land some big punches. But it was a hell of a fight. I had it a draw.
Danny, what are you thinking about Crawford versus Canelo? There are a lot of rumors that that fight might happen.
You know, at the end of the day, they're 2 great pound-for-pound fighters, and if they feel like, you know, it makes sense and they want to fight each other, stylistically, it's a great fight. But, you know, Canelo, he's a big dude. So I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, you know, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all in boxing, you know, to make the biggest fights and try to be great.
You know, since you've been gone, there have been a lot of exhibition fights. What do you make of stuff like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson?
It's entertainment, definitely entertainment. It's a big difference between boxing and entertainment. I wouldn't call it a boxing fight. You know, it's definitely for entertainment and, you know, give the fans something to watch and entertain the fans around the world who love Tyson, who love Jake Paul.
How do you think that plays out?
I'm not too sure. You know, I just hope, you know, everyone has fun and makes a lot of money.
You just mentioned, Danny, that it's just entertainment between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Do you think, and it's not boxing, do you think Jake Paul is a boxer? Would you classify him as a boxer at this point?
Yeah, definitely. I would consider him a boxer for sure because, you know, he's faced the real boxer in Tommy Fury. And even though he's fighting a lot of MMA fighters and beating them, but he's putting the work in. You know, he's doing real training camps, he's sparring real fighters, and he's going there and fighting. So I would definitely consider him a real boxer now. And that's why a lot of these guys are getting knocked out by him. It's because they're saying that he's not a real boxer, but he really is. So you got to come and train like, you know, the guy's taking it serious. So you can't look at it like that. You got to look at it like I'm fighting a real boxer, and maybe one of these guys could beat him.
Danny, you mentioned this fight's been brewing for 2 years. It's been on, it's been off. You thought he was going to fight this date, that date. A, did you think that this fight may fall through the cracks? And B, for the past 2 years, have you been focused solely on Lara, or were there other guys, you know, in the last couple of years that you went down the road contractually with?
To be honest, I really just forgot about it. I wouldn't even really think about fighting. I was just enjoying, you know, I had 2 more kids. I had my daughter Palace, she's just turned 2. I just had a son 2 months ago. I wouldn't even really think about boxing. I mean, I started my boxing promotion. You were there that night in Philly, so I did 2 promotional cards. And I was just keeping my head on other things, you know, staying busy, watching these young guys train, always keeping my head in the game, watching boxing. But to be honest, I wouldn't even think about boxing, you know, until I got the call. And I was like, let's do it.
So the Lara fight was there, then it died, then I guess got rekindled, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, you got like 6 weeks ago, I wasn't even thinking about boxing. You know, and they called me and say, look, you want to fight on the Lara, I mean, the Canelo undercard versus Berlanga? I said, you know, it makes sense. Berlanga's a Puerto Rican, I'm a Puerto Rican, I'm a big draw. You know, I could make history winning the middleweight title, so how can I say no?
Danny, so, thank you. Danny, just one question for you. You know, you've had a long career. You're obviously well known. You've done awesome things. You've always managed to stay out of the news and the headlines. And, you know, recently Devin Haney was just in the headlines. Any message for young guys like that? How to stay out of the headlines, how to keep themselves out of problems that you've managed to avoid your whole career?
I mean, it's tough, you know, because you walk on thin ice. Like, I'm pretty sure he probably, sometimes when you see all that stuff on the internet, it's like somebody says something to you in person, it's like, it's on a site. I'm tired of people trying to pick on me on the internet, and then you see somebody say something to you in person, and it's like, they're going to press you. So maybe he was just tired of, you know, maybe that guy said something to him. I mean, I would never say it's okay for you to go hit somebody, hit a fan in public or anything, but sometimes, like, there's only so much you could take, and then somebody said, like, you can only be the bigger guy so many times, but, you know, you should never put your hands on nobody at the end of the day. But I understand both sides, you know what I mean? Like you could be tired of people bullying on the internet, you could be tired of people saying stuff, and you always gotta be the better guy. But at the same time, you gotta be a professional, and you gotta learn how to just turn your cheek and walk away and just let your team handle that. And you know, what happened. It's tough. It's tough. Trust me, I've been there before. Sometimes fans say wild shit to you, they'll curse at you. Sometimes you got fans that are aggressive, try to, you know, you got all types of things you gotta like turn your cheek on all the time. It's hard to just, you know, sometimes you might be eating with your family and somebody just come over the table, want to talk and want a picture. It's tough, you know, being a professional and just try to be a regular person. But at the end of the day, you always gotta think about, you know, the aftershock. Is this really worth what comes what next? And that's what you really gotta think about.
Thank you.
Questions, guys. 2 more.